Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Got Writer's Block Live. Got Writer's Block Marketing, Mindset, and Money Talks. Today we have Miranda, the co-founder of The Art of Storytelling, and we're so excited to have her on here because she's going to teach us all about maximizing revenue for content repurposing. So hi, Miranda.
Hi, Jessica. Thanks for having me tonight.
Yes, so I know we briefly met a few months ago at a Staples event, and then we kept in touch. I came on your podcast, and now you're finally coming on my podcast or LinkedIn Live to help my audience learn more about video marketing and repurposing. So I guess my first question for you is just briefly tell us about the art of storytelling.
Yeah, so The Art of Storytelling is primarily a video production company, and I'm the co-founder along with my husband. He's the creative director, and I'm the business development director. And we have been doing video productions for over 15 years. So we're well experienced in multiple industries and many different types of videos. Any kind of video in any industry, we've pretty much covered that at some point, including events. But what we primarily like to focus on is finding the story behind the business and finding the story behind the brand. And we do that with storytelling videos. So we really dive into the mission and vision and the why and the purpose of the company. And we really bring that out in a very authentic, trustworthy, believable, and engaging way, so that when people watch your short video, they get a really good idea of who you are, what you do, and what it's like to actually work with you.
And do you find it hard for your clients to kind of come up with that content for like, what is our mission, what is our vision, or do they already kind of have it written out?
So it depends. Some clients have a very clear mission and vision, and their purpose and their values. A lot of organizations have that information pretty well embedded into them. But sometimes they have challenges being able to express that in a way that doesn't sound dull, something that sounds interesting, that makes people think, okay, I want to work with this business. And we help them present it in a way that really establishes the know, like, and trust factors.
That's huge. Okay, so that's amazing. Basically, when other companies are working with you, you have in-house strategies to really pull the ideas out from people.
Yeah, and we do it in a very natural way because we don't want to obviously put words in your mouth, but we help you just get the right sentences out, get the right sound bites out, and then the magic actually happens afterwards when we edit it together. That's really what kind of pulls the story together, because it doesn't flow out of the interviewees in a natural, coherent way that's going to get it down to like a nice 3-minute video. So the editing really pulls it together and usually gives the client something that they're really proud of because they did it themselves. They said it themselves. These are their words. This is how they feel. We just help them present it in a nicer way.
Okay, I like that. And I know you told me before you don't like scripts.
Well, we stay away from scripts in most circumstances. So not all circumstances. Sometimes you need scripts depending on what it is. But we do find that if you're doing a natural narrative interview-based story, we like our participants to be able to just say that from the heart, right? You don't get from the heart when you're using a script. You could, but it's still not as good as an unscripted, what comes naturally on the day, how someone strings together a few sentences. You start to hear the magic in that, whereas in something that's scripted, it's a lot harder to actually get that out of them.
And can you tell me about a time, you don't have to say the client's name, but maybe where maybe they weren't sure about what they were going to say, or they were super nervous, and then you're looking back at all the content later and you found some really like special moments to put together?
Absolutely. So funny thing is, I have a client that she's a solo entrepreneur, and we were working with her in 2021. So kind of during COVID, we were able to do a few shoots, and she really wanted to express what she does. She does a very personal service with organizations and with individuals and businesses of different kinds. And her service is very personal. So people actually have to really connect with her and like to be around her because she's very much involved with them. This is not like a one-off, right? So it's a long-term involvement. And she was extremely nervous, probably my most nervous client. But she really, really wanted us to help her tell her story because she had a hard time explaining it herself. And she felt that in her social media and on her website, she wasn't really getting across who she was and what she was about, right? So we wanted to bring some personality and some, just some human interest into her website because it's all about her. It's not about an organization. It's her. It's what she's about. And she was so nervous that we struggled through the interviews. We helped her. We have a lot of techniques that we do to help her get through it easily. And we managed to complete the interviews, and we were so happy with it at the end of the day. And then we knew, okay, when we edit it, we'll have lots of good stuff. And then what ended up happening was she got her 3-minute, story about her and what she's about. And then we said, look, there are so many other good parts of what you said. You spoke about your work in different ways. You spoke about the different clients that you help. You speak about the different values and your different approaches. She was so good with all of it that we said, look, I think you need to listen to this longer version, and we can probably cut this up and give you maybe 4 or 5 or 6 short, maybe 30-second to 1-minute different pieces that you now can have this whole bank of content that you can roll out, right? You can roll out 5 or 6 videos over 5 or 6 months, right? And we did that, and she absolutely loved all of them. Her family loved them, but she didn't show them to anybody until this week.
Really?
So she's been sitting on them for 2 years. She was just, so even though she loved them, she still felt very self-conscious about sharing. It's like putting your own photos online.
Yeah, you're vulnerable.
Yeah, she was feeling she felt like, oh no, this is going to feel too promotional. Like it's very self-serving and I don't want to be showing off, because she's very humble. And I said, look, what if we will share it for you? I will write something about the project we did. And, she's so great and she does all of this good work. And we did that, and we shared it this week, and everybody loved it because she's so lovable. Like she's an amazing person. And she makes so much impact in our community. Everybody loved it. So now she feels great because she's finally put it out there, and everyone can see, what she actually does, and they get a good understanding of what she does, because it's a bit of a hard industry to explain in detail. But one thing we did, sorry to go on, but one thing we did to make it easier for her was we tried to make it not only about her, because she didn't want to see 3 minutes of herself talking.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. So yeah, tell me what you did.
So what we did was we brought in, I think it was 3 different, I call them stakeholders. They were people that she's volunteered with, organizations that she's helped with. And I said, look, let's bring these people in, and they can help you explain who you are and what you're about, because you have helped their organization so much that they can now speak very positively about you, and it doesn't feel as self-serving as, saying how great you are yourself. And that was really good, because it also meant that these other participants in her video are now sharing this content on all of their platforms, because they absolutely love that they have been featured in her video. So it's been good for her and her self-confidence, and it's also helped to reach a wider audience by including different stakeholders.
Oh, this is amazing. So it's turned into like a multi-partner marketing campaign, and you're helping each one of them.
Yeah, it's almost like a community partnership right now.
Oh, that's amazing. I can't believe she waited 2 years, but it's true. Some people are really nervous. They're not in a rush.
Yep. 2 whole years, yeah.
But when she released that, what was the reaction like? Like, do you think
it was great
now?
Yeah, I think now that she's shared the first one, we shared it on her behalf, and then she reshared it. I think now she's going to feel more confident that she is going to share more, and she's really happy that we finally pushed her to get it out there, because you've invested in all of this content, and you really need to always make the most of it.
And I like what you were talking about too. It's totally an investment doing a content shoot or any kind of content marketing. but you created a bunch of, what did you say, 30-second clips, 1-minute clips?
Yeah, we did short ones, and then we did like one main one that I think is going to live on the website, and then some
Yeah.
other ones that would maybe be content for like each page of the different types of services.
Mm. Okay. And then say someone was interested in a video for their website, but then also videos that could translate to, say, Instagram or LinkedIn. What's like the different type of content? So what would the approach be for the website, and then what would it be more for social media?
Yeah, so the website is usually a good starting point because you want to have a really good, strong, very comprehensive video there that tells you who you are, what you do, why you do it, what your services are, and then from that you can start to pull out other little things, right? So you can pull out things about personality, things about specific services, client testimonials. So you can
Mm.
pull the main video apart. And to do a main like 3-minute about us type video, general video, typically takes half a day to a full day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of content, right? It's a lot of work and a lot of content, but you can pull so much out of it because you can even just pull out, even if it's not the interviews, you can pull out some B-roll shots of the facilities or people at work, or there's different elements to a video story that you can totally pull apart into different ways. And we recently worked with a client where we did a series of about 22 small business videos. And
Wow.
yeah, it was a big project, and it was kind of tourism and support local based. So each business got their video, but we then also took like the beauty shots of maybe the products or the location or the people. We took those and we made these Instagram reels.
Mm.
With trending audio, and we just use like the beauty shots. So if it was a bakery, we use like the beautiful shots from the bakery. If it was a lavender farm, we use like the beautiful shots of the lavender. So we really like pulled out the best stuff and we made these Instagram reels. And when we started sharing them, because we did it with the trending audio and we
Yeah.
Instagram, it got the viewers or the visitors, it really got the visitor count up really high, the viewers up really high. So they got huge amount of new traffic on their Instagram page because they had such great videos for the first time.
That's a really good point, because a lot of people are they're trying to rank on Instagram, they're trying to make reels. They are using the trending audio,
Yeah.
but part of it is also the background video, right?
Yeah, and Instagram, you can have lots of really, really catchy user-generated videos, but sometimes if you take really good video, like good quality with nice slow motion or some drones or something really interesting, it just gives you a different look on Instagram and a little bit of an edge because you're scrolling through all of the user-generated stuff and then you see something that's like beautiful and amazing, and that stops people and they watch it.
It gives you that professional edge, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, amazing. And then what you also touched on was not every video has to have the owner in, the clients in, or the staff in. Like there's also videos and like zoom in type of shots of product, of even the location of where they work, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we do like to really push the interview-based storytelling videos. But out of that, yeah, it doesn't have to be only the owner or only the employee. You can really think a little bit out of the box and see who you could get. Clients are really good. Clients give amazing testimonials and they say such good things about your business, things that you wouldn't even think to put together in words because you're not thinking like a client. So it's really good to hear like what's in the client's head and how do they really see your service. I mean, I love to ask my clients for a customer testimonial at the end of a shoot too. And you're always blown away by what they will say about what you do.
I like that. Yeah. That's you can't pull the words out of your mouth. It has to be from them.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then in terms of storytelling, how do you help them intertwine that? Are there any like main principles you use?
I mean, we always try to start with something that is really engaging, and I mean, it's called like an emotional hook, right? So you want to
Mm,
start with the first 7 seconds. You really got to hook them in the first 7 seconds. So you start with either a little personal story or a story that's happened in the business, or just something that's different and unique. You know, so you don't just start it with, "Hi, I'm Miranda, and I run a video company." Right? You have to have something that's going to be interesting and different that will actually stop people and let them say, okay, this person sounds like they have something interesting to talk about. So a lot of the work is down to the editing, and
mhm.
that is down to the experience that the editor has. So being in this business for so long, my team is very well experienced and aware of how to get that emotional hook at the beginning.
Yeah, because first of all, like as you realize, online space is just so crowded, and I feel like a lot of videos may not also use that same technique. So
Mhm.
really, if you want to like stop that scroll on Instagram or LinkedIn, you need that hook right away. Otherwise, people are just gonna scroll by, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like one thing that we try to fight back on or push back on a little bit with clients is to not start your video with your logo, right? Because if you're going to have to look through 15 or 20 or 30 seconds of a logo animation about some corporate company, you're going to lose it, right? It's going to start to look like an ad. So we do try to start on engaging visuals and engaging audio.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sure you have some clients who are more old school. Do you find it hard for them to kind of pull that emotional story out of them?
Honestly, I have interviewed so many people, old school people, yes. And it's not that it's hard, it is challenging, but we can still help them through it. I mean, sometimes I have a client say it's like, a younger social media manager who says, oh, the CEO, he's kind of stiff and
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of old school and he doesn't really want to do this, and I'm like, it's okay, we will find a way to do this. And it just comes down to the actual interview technique on the day, because
Mm-hmm.
they can talk about their business, they are the experts in their business, and the story that comes out is the story that comes out from them. Like, we don't make these stories up for these big people or these businesses, they do it themselves. um, but yeah, we have techniques that we do on the day that really slowly puts them at ease and slowly draws out enough, because really we need only 3 to 5 minutes of really good sound bites, and it's just
Yeah.
sound bites. It's not like paragraphs or hundreds of words, it's just some good sound bites that really gives you the essence of your business story.
Mm-hmm. And I think even if the owner is reluctant, they probably are fine just talking about their business and what they do, and that's all you need.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fine. Like, it's seldom not gonna work. It always works in some way or the other, and we don't leave unless we know we got it.
Perfect. That's a true professional. I love it. Okay, and then in terms of industries, what industries do you like to work with?
We like to work with manufacturing. Manufacturing is
Mhm.
always good. I mean, we did a lot of work when we lived in the Caribbean. We did a lot of oil and gas work, so
Okay.
very industrial and not necessarily manufacturing, but those kind of more less pretty industries. I think that's like the most interesting thing. I mean, it's always nice to go to like a beautiful building downtown Toronto, like lovely skyscrapers with beautiful offices. But
Mhm.
there's something that I like about going to, the kind of rough industries.
Well, you're I think with the rougher industries, they don't really a lot of them don't care a lot about marketing. They get a
Yeah.
lot of referral business, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then their industries kind of there's probably a lot of untold stories, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they always have really interesting stories that are, so important, because I mean, industry and manufacturing is so important to everything that we do. That I think, like, what they do, you might think it doesn't look pretty, but I think that's always like the challenge is, let's make this place look the best that it can be.
No, that's amazing. And I like that you're tackling that and just shows that any industry can be made beautiful and be turned into a story.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But you need the correct professional to help you to pull it out. And then what about health and nonprofit? I know you like that industry as well.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work in healthcare in different ways. We've done work with like mental health, drug addiction,
Mm-hmm.
different hospital stories about patient care or surgery, or kind of highlighting special doctors at different
Mm-hmm.
hospitals. Um, we also do a lot of nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
We've recently done a whole series for a nonprofit in
Oh,
Richmond Hill,
interesting.
in York region, and they are doing amazing things with newcomers to Canada.
Oh, amazing.
We've just gone and done like stories about some of their like women who have like women of resilience
Mm-hmm.
success stories.
Oh,
Um,
amazing.
always surrounding the women who are making it despite the challenges. So really positive stories. And then we also did some that talked about the individual programs that they're offering, and what they do and who they serve and how you can get involved. So those kind of nonprofit work, those kind of stories are always very rewarding to do. And
Yeah.
you come away thinking, oh my gosh, like this nonprofit is doing such good work, and we should just be so glad that we have them, in our province and available to help everybody else.
Yeah, and then I'm sure that your video is going to be like shared a lot. It's going to help really grow the nonprofit, right? And really help them get the help they need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, as we're talking about repurposing content, so we started doing these stories about the programs, and the programs that they're running are supposed to go, like the videos are supposed to go on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And then they recently had an impact event, so kind of like a happy get together. Let's talk about and celebrate all the impact that we're making. And during that impact event, they were running all of the videos. We gave them we took all 6 or 8 videos, and we made them into one long video with like little slides between. And
Mm-hmm.
that was running. It was like almost an hour of footage, and that was running on a loop in the big room on the big screen, so that people can sit down and watch and learn and listen to what this organization is actually doing, because it's so much easier to get this information across if people could just sit and watch and listen, rather than if they had to explain what each program is actually doing.
That's amazing. And then people can do it on their own time. A lot of people do better also by listening and watching. They may not read.
Yes.
It's more impactful. That's
Mm-hmm.
perfect. So before we do our activity, my last question for you is about really like the different stages of the funnel. So for anyone that's not familiar, basically the beginning stage is like awareness. No one really knows. Let's just do it like health. We'll do a health company. No one really knows about your health clinic or your hospital. In the middle is like you do know about it, but haven't really gone there yet. You're considering it, but you need more info. And then the end is really like the closing stages where you're like, okay, I'm gonna book an appointment. I think I'm ready. So
Mm-hmm.
just take me really through the journey of how you approach that from the content side.
Yeah. So I would say the first kind of story you're going to want to start with would be just the, who we are, what we do.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a small clinic, and there's like an owner operator person who might be like the doctor or the, physician, I would start with like that who we are, what we do story. So a little background on the owner or the founder, what they do, why did they get into this, what kind of needs do they serve, and what makes them passionate about what they do. So
Mm,
that kind of like basic, this is who we are. So you start to kind of get the know, like, and trust factors going early. And then
yeah.
as you move through the stages, I would say you want to get into more some details on what you're actually doing. So like if it's a chiropractor, you would actually start to do more maybe educational
Mm-hmm.
videos on different services that they do, how they do it, why they do it. Like for different complaints, they would have these different solutions. Maybe go through that.
Oh,
And
that's a good one. Solutions to pain points, right?
yeah. So you'll see some of these like Instagram or TikTok, and it'll be a video, and the doctor will be saying, okay, if you're a woman and you're over 45 and you have these problems, you might need to have whatever. So
This pill.
yeah. So those more like educational pieces in the middle.
Mhm. And also targeted, right?
Yeah.
Because you just said the audience too, so specific.
Yeah. I think once you have your followers, those followers want to get educational
Mm-hmm.
information. So I would definitely roll out a lot of education. And I mean, towards the end of the funnel, I don't know. I mean, what do you use towards like that last stage in the funnel when you have to
The
write something
last stage in the funnel would really be
like a call to action?
something with the call to action. So say it's for a clinic, it could even be a booking link.
Mm-hmm.
Booking link. It's something, it's something to take action.
Yeah.
Book your first consult, something like that.
Yeah.
But it could also be information or testimonial style videos from the second
Mhm.
stage, kind of all flows together.
Yes, definitely. And sometimes we do testimonials at the beginning. If
Mhm.
it's a well-established company, we do ask the clients, like, can we get the owner, some employees, and can we get maybe some clients? Who can we put into the mix to tell your story? So if you do the testimonial at the beginning, right, and you've
Mhm.
spent the time and you've invested in gathering all of this content, you can then pull that testimonial out separately and use that testimonial somewhere towards the end of your funnel.
Mhm.
I've even seen people use a testimonial video and kind of like stick a link in their email signature to say,
Mhm.
hear what our happy clients have to say.
Oh
Takes the
yeah, that's perfect. I love that.
Yeah, so that if you've now reached the point where you're now like talking with the clients and sending emails back and forth, they can click on that testimonial and just get that last trust piece in to know that, okay,
Mhm.
I'm ready to go ahead with this person.
And I like that you touched on email because that's another way that you can repurpose again.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're gonna do now, everyone, I'm gonna share my screen to a worksheet, and we're just gonna quickly go over some ideas for really repurposing. 1 sec. Okay, we are up. 1 sec. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom it in. So Miranda, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna fill in the content repurposing worksheet. So let's say you just did a video shoot for a hospital. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, Miranda, we're done. And you told us that there's an infinite amount of content that can be reproduced. So let's go over social media and videos. What kind of social media could be produced from a shoot?
Yeah, so if you start with 3 to 4 interviews to create a 3 to 5 minute video, that's typically what we would start with, right? So you don't want a 3-minute video with only one person talking. It gets a little bit stale, and it's really good to pull the story together from different voices. So if you start with a 3 to 4 minute video, I would say that video goes on the website. So I would not necessarily put that under social media. I'd put that on the website. But then what I would do is I would take the 3 to 4 people that you interviewed, and I would pull out bits of their interviews to make individual short, maybe 30-second social media spots. So one per person. We often do one per person, or if you have multiple people and they talk throughout the video, they talk about different like themes or categories. So say one thing they talk about that they all talk about in the video is customer service. Then you can say, okay, pull out a short 30-second video just on the customer service, right? So it's a cut down. So it's not really a re-edit. You just pull out by theme or by topic. And that will give you lots of content, right? Because you talk about lots of different topics and you have different themes. So, customer service or quality or products or teamwork or culture, like whatever it is that we talked about in the main video, you can pull that out either by topic or by person.
Oh, I love that. That's probably gonna give them at least 3 or 4 videos
Yes,
minimum.
definitely. So we usually give our clients a main video, 3 minutes, and then we tend to give them typically 3 more videos that are short. And
Mhm.
we do those vertically and horizontally. So you can put it on
Oh, okay.
Instagram or Facebook stories or wherever you want to put vertical,
Mhm.
talk. And yeah, so you end up with sometimes like 7 video pieces, 7 video
Mhm.
files out of one interview.
Mhm. That's amazing. So one can be for the website, a bunch can be for social media.
Mhm.
And then what about you were also talking about previously like educational and videos for service pages?
Yeah, so that would be similar to topics, right?
Mhm.
But probably not, maybe 30 seconds, but maybe you might want to have, like, if you have a website and you have a main homepage and then you have
Mhm.
different subsections, you might want a video for each one. So we did one recently for a company, a woman, a family. It's a farm, and they breed these amazing puppies,
Oh, cute.
2 different breeds of puppies. And so we pulled out like a video about the Westies and a video about the other one. I can't remember what it is. So she had a main video, and then she wanted to have, something specific on each page about the different puppies that she has.
Mm. So you can clip videos. That's amazing.
Hmm.
Okay, and then let's go down. What about like infographics? So more like a text visual.
I mean, we don't really work with infographics in our
Yeah.
studio, but you could definitely create infographics that support the video story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then the same would go with email. Like they could link to the social media links, right?
Yeah,
In your
absolutely.
email.
Yeah, yeah.
So we could link to social media.
Yeah, so email, I don't know if you have a separate one for newsletter. Do you have a different one? A blog, maybe?
No, this would be newsletter, yeah.
So email is newsletter?
Email/newsletter, yeah.
Yeah. So what I like to do and what I like to suggest to my clients to do for their newsletter is um, you can use some of the content from the video. Like, we could pull stills out of the video.
Oh, okay.
Like, if we didn't do photography on the day, sometimes we do photography on the day, but if we didn't, we could pull a still or two from the 4K video footage.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you have like a visual that is actually a frame from your video, right? So it matches with
Mm-hmm.
the video. And you can then, you can use the text document, which is like the subtitles, because we subtitle the videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have the text document of the transcript. You can
Mm-hmm.
use some of that text to now make, a paragraph or two of something that you want to put in your newsletter. So your newsletter can easily match up very well with your video.
Oh, that's perfect. And then that transcript can also be used as a blog, right?
Yeah, you can take the transcript. I mean, I would say take the transcript, give it to someone like Got Writer's Block, and let them listen to the interview, right? Because so when you interview, if you interview 3 or 4 people, you probably get at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half of talking, right? So you do about 20
Mhm.
minutes per person. So now you have all of this audio that you can, well, we will transcribe it. And we
Mhm.
can give it to a writer, and the writer can now, it's as though you were there. You heard everything that was answered. You had heard all the questions, and you can now write, you could write a case study about this. You could write a blog.
Mhm. That's a really good point. Yeah, turn into a case study. And the last one I want to talk about, because you are excited about this time of year, there's lots of end of year events coming, holidays coming, New Year's coming. So, how can events be, or video, how do video and events and promotions all go together?
Yeah, so we have some clients that we've been working with for a while, and now they have a trade show.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have to now think, okay, how can we repurpose what we filmed earlier this year to a trade show video? And a trade show video, it needs to be really visually captivating, because people are looking at it from a distance. They're not watching it up close on a screen, right? They're walking by, and if they don't see something that's really striking, they won't stop and watch. The other thing is you don't really have an opportunity for sound in a trade show usually, so
Oh
no
yeah.
sound. So we like to just cut the sound and put like more graphic text on the video.
Mhm.
So kind of like pull it down into smaller bullet points or very short, punchy sentences. It still gets your story across enough for
Mm.
walking by to look at it and say, oh, okay, you're talking about, sustainable agriculture, or you're talking about digital printing processes or whatever. And they get a few little pieces of information and it makes them stop and watch the rest of the video.
Mm.
Right? Like you can't put a 10-minute video in a trade show because it's just too long. No one wants to stand up for 10 minutes, right? They want to get the information
So are
quick.
they like max 60 seconds?
Yeah, maybe 2 minutes,
Okay.
depending. Really, it really depends. But yeah, usually the shorter the better. So what we do sometimes is we would take out the interviews. So you won't see the people talking, because if you can't hear them talking, and it's kind of hard to read subtitles, if you're in a trade show and the subtitles are only as big as they are. We could change the subtitles, make them more graphic text, or we just take out the talking anyway, because sometimes it's too much information to try and get across with an audience that isn't really a captive audience. They're more like a passing by audience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you just
Yeah,
want,
and then in terms of the content, is it a lot of like background, landscape, kind of with text?
yeah. Typically, I would say you want to go with the more beauty shots.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe explaining, like, it might be like the process. So if it's manufacturing, you'll still keep like the shots of the manufacturing process, but I would just take out the talking heads. So the interviews, I would take those out and I would just keep like the nice visuals with the text over it in very
Mm,
short, punchy bullet.
very short. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. That was super helpful. I think a lot of our viewers can really help just kind of from that deep dive of how much content you can really get from one shoot.
Mhm.
And before we head out, is there anything else you wanted to add?
Not really. If anyone wants to ask me any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yeah, I mean, I do really like the storytelling aspect and helping my clients to get the most amazing story out of themselves. I mean, I do like to say that we make amazing videos, but it's not all on us. It's really all on the client. And I think every company has a purpose. I don't think you need to identify yourself as a purpose-driven
Yeah,
company,
social impact.
because who's not purpose-driven, right? Everybody has a purpose and everybody has
Mhm.
a niche and something special that they bring to the table. And it's just, having the confidence to talk about it, and having the support of a professional company to help you either write it like yourself or
Mhm.
film it and help you get more of that dynamic content. Work with those suppliers and, really make a story that you're proud to share with others.
Oh, I love that. Well, for everyone in the chat, we just put the link to Miranda's website, theartofstorytelling.com, so you can see their full portfolio there. And really, the beauty of working with her and her team is really them bringing the story out of you. Because, like we were saying before, it can feel uncomfortable, you don't know what to say, and also you're shy to share your story. But really having that helping hand and that industry knowledge will just make it really almost fun, like a fun day together, just talking about your company, right?
Yep, very conversational and easy.
Perfect. Okay, thanks so much for coming on, Miranda. Take care. Have a good night. Thanks everyone for watching.